Are we live? We're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? This is the Highest Creation Podcast. I am your host, Cam Lightyear. We got my co-host, Lavish, in the building.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm feeling really fucking good. It's Black History Month. The shortest month of the year, but it's cool. We still rocking. We dominating right now. Black Panther just came out. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't been able to catch it, but I am about to cop a ticket. I guess in LA they're about to have this special screening. And I found that shit on Eventbrite. Tap in.
Oh, really? When's that taking place?
I want to say like this weekend, actually. I'm not sure.
That's epic.
I gotta check that shit out.
Yeah, you know some people are gonna be there. I mean, social media cannot stop talking about the movie. It's spurred a lot of controversy. A lot of people being extra too, but hey, it's Black History Month. We're gonna let them rock. But this is the first superhero blockbuster film of 2018. And according to Fortune.com, it's currently on track for the biggest opening ever in the month of February. So that's, that's pretty major. Black History Month. We got the Black Ball poster in the back. I've had this since I was like 12 years old. I don't even know the origin of this shit, actually, to be honest. But it's got all the old school original baseball players from the Negro League. We got Satchel Paige on there and a whole bunch of other players. But I figured it's only fitting, only appropriate to put this up. I need to get a good frame on it. But it's definitely
Need to get that shit hung.
Got that energy. Yeah, it's definitely got some energy. But anyways, I'm feeling good. Monday evening. How's your weekend, bro?
Honestly, my weekend, this shit is crazy, man. This shit's got to stop. I gotta stop going out. So I experienced for the very first time this club called Spin. This shit is unreal. First of all, why is everyone partying so much? I should not be waking up at 4:30 in the morning and people are in the house partying. Full on raging. DJ booth out. Fishnets.
That's some movie shit.
I seen like two bitches with wigs. There was a midget in there. I bought a jacket.
You bought a jacket at the party?
I bought a jacket inside of the club.
Oh, sorry, inside the club.
Yeah, so there's this lady. She had a booth. And they had some legit clothes in there. And I'm a salesman, guys. And I got sold. Basically, she sold me. For the 40 WAP, I had to get the jacket. It's one of a kind. It's classic.
Sounds like you had a fun weekend.
Absolutely. An amazing weekend, actually.
On the other hand, I didn't do a damn thing. Yeah, it was just posted.
Epically did nothing.
Yeah, epically did nothing.
Those are always the best weekends.
Plotting, just plotting, scheming. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about on this episode, man. The Highest Creation Podcast, we aim to provide information, news, entertainment, music, shit we like, shit we're into, of course. But we also want to shed light on certain things, problems that maybe can be solved somehow, maybe by one of our listeners or viewers, And we also want to help you guys out as well and do things that are beneficial to you. So one of the things I wanted to talk about on this episode is how to get involved in the cannabis industry, how to get employed in the cannabis industry. This is one of the largest sectors growing right now. It's booming. And there's ways to get involved, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But there's two major problems in the cannabis industry right now. One of them is compliance, and the other one is tracking. So this is crazy. A few weeks ago, Lavish actually brought up his introductory episode. He brought up how the blockchain could be beneficial to the cannabis industry, which is required to keep meticulous records regarding inventory, sales, and how their products move through the value chain. So the cannabis industry is very fragmented right now. It's coming from the black market to where growers want to hide. They don't want their identities to be known for fears of being prosecuted, where there's no real brands, there's no regulations, and it's moving into a regulated market with legalization. But coming with that and all of the new growth, there comes a lot of issues as well. And one of the big ones is tracking. So 420 Blockchain is a business bringing the blockchain to the cannabis industry in a way that helps consumers, industry figures, and regulators. So 420 Blockchain solving this problem. And this is nuts because this is kind of a step in the direction that we need to take as far as really blowing the cannabis industry up. So 420 Blockchain was founded to try to keep a fragmented industry to help it become complete, offering companies a means of tracking their product through its growth and sale. Basically, it goes on to say the blockchain programming creates a record that cannot be illicitly modified. From a consumer standpoint, the 420 Blockchain app allows them to track where the varieties they enjoyed were grown in hopes of finding something similar. You know, so you'll be able to see where stuff comes from. You'll be able to find out what you like. It's getting towards the cannabis industry getting really tailored. And I was just talking with my brother and my cousin about this, about how cannabis is an herb, but it's only one herb and it's not meant to solve everything. We're using it as a silver bullet when it's really going to be a mixture of things. So knowing where your stuff comes from and knowing how you interact with certain things is getting closer towards it really solving this problem. You know, and 420 Blockchain's doing really good work. And you called it, man. That's crazy. No Miss Cleo. For real.
You know, sometimes you just got to understand that when the Lord speaks, he speaks the truth. But at the end of the day, I always knew that it was going to lead to something like this, a blockchain where you could just regulate everything. You can have a record of everything, every transaction, where it was transacted. If that's a word, don't quote me on that.
I believe that's a word, but we do not fact check here.
No fact checks here, except for the ones we're dropping. And the one I'm about to drop right now is a little bit of cool news. We laughed about it a little bit earlier, but actually in Richmond, Virginia, the Virginia Senate, they just passed a bill that would allow people charged for the first time with marijuana possession to have it expunged off their record. Okay, so, I mean, if you ever got caught for a minor possession or even a major possession in Richmond, Virginia, then I guess you can pay to get it taken off your record, which is huge. I mean, niggas shouldn't be going to jail for weed anyway, but the fact that people have already and they're allowing this action to take place is pretty cool. And so
I'm wondering what they're not doing that in California yet, huh?
I haven't heard.
They need to be doing that. Anywhere cannabis is legal, you need to free the boys that are locked up for it. We got people capitalizing off of this, making a ton of money, and then people are locked up.
No, so we were reading up on it, and you know, Senator Tommy Norment, you know, he actually didn't want to introduce it at first because he didn't think it would get passed, but he finally brought it to the table, and it was damn near unanimous. It was 38-2. So me and the bro, we were laughing about this. So it's 38-2. We want to know which two niggas said no. That's what I want to know. What two niggas was like, nah, we ain't letting them out. Nah, we ain't cleaning the record. It's like,
some super supreme haters, man.
Super supreme hater. But either way it goes, them niggas lost. It was 38-2.
Yeah, because at that point, you know they're talking, you know, so you know they already say who they're gonna vote for prior. So those two people already knew a good portion of the people were gonna vote to pass it, and they still chose to vote no anyways.
You know what I think it's about? I think they do that because they know that this voting is going on record. Maybe they know something that the other 38 don't know. You know?
Nah, they're gonna be on the wrong side of history, as I continue to say. These people that are trying to hold on to the old ways, the old laws, a lot of shit's changing, man.
Another thing that we were laughing at too was reports say that the bill is going to require an expungement fee, like I was saying, so you can pay to get this expunged off your record. But me, I'm thinking, how you gonna lock me up and then charge me for taking the shit off my record? Like, what type of shit is that?
They got to get something out of you, huh? They can't just like everything comes at a cost, bro. That's crazy, man. 25 racks. How are they supposed to pay that?
Right.
I've been locked up for 8 years for 2 grams.
Right.
Right. And
he just did a 5-year bid because he had a pound of marijuana on him.
I remember everybody thought Obama was gonna like do some crazy shit before he left office, but
that nigga did do some crazy shit.
I know, but people thought he was gonna free like a bunch of people. Well, he kind of did, but every president before they're about to leave office, they always pardon a few people, you know. So that's not like it's out of the norm.
He pardoned some real heavy, a lot of people that they feel like shouldn't have been pardoned, but that's on another note. Anyways, guys, 38-2, the bill was passed, and it's moving forward. It still has to pass in the House before it goes to the governor, but as big of a step as this is, 38-2, to expunge, your first marijuana charge off your record, that's a huge step in, history. It's a huge step towards the future. It's a huge step towards understanding.
Yeah, because don't other states, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert at law at all, but don't states follow what other states do when they vote on things of this nature?
Yeah, I mean,
to your knowledge, do you know anything about that? Because I know like certain things, once it goes to the Supreme Court, like they always refer back to cases in the Supreme Court to help them vote on things in the future. You know what I mean? So
yeah, they do. They always refer. It's called case law when you use another case as part as leverage, or let's say a bullet, a piece of ammo, and so forth. But usually in situations like this, it's so much as they see the positivity in it and they just follow suit, which is huge. But that's the news we had for today. This is the part where we're gonna segue into another little segment this segment's gonna start picking up steam. People are gonna start sending in their opinions, and this segment is called Blowing My High, and this is the part where we disclose what's been blowing our high. Some situation that happened in the last week, or maybe it's happened in our past and we just thought about it. Maybe some rare occurrence.
Man, I feel like shit could literally happen every single day if you let it. Like, I know people that are getting their high blown multiple times a day.
Every day, a couple times a day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But it doesn't have to even be literally, right? So it could be figuratively blowing your high, Everyone knows what it is. And if you're a viewer of the show, I'm sure you now think of instances where, damn, that blew my high. And it occurs throughout your life, What blew your high this week, Lavish?
Honestly, it's crazy because for some reason I just couldn't figure out what's been blowing my high, until it was just naturally found. I fucking hate, what would you call them? Subscripted emails. When you open up your email and you get messages from people that you didn't ask for a message from. Wait, like, just because I went to your website one time to utilize your service, that don't give you the right to blow my email up. Sliding in my DMs like I really know you like that. I don't know you like that. Don't be hitting me up like that. I don't got time to be unsubscribing and then subscribing every time I come to your website.
Give them an inch, they want a mile.
You give these niggas an inch, these niggas will take an arm and a leg. And honestly,
just obliterate your inbox.
Literally. See, you guys
obliterate. How do you even say that shit?
Right. So usually when I speak into this blowing my high situation, you guys might catch that. I guess I may just be irritable sometimes, but I think I be dropping legit blowing my high moments. Like, don't blow my fucking email up. I'm not feeling that shit, B. And that shit's blowing my high. What about you?
Man, you know it'd be blowing my high, and this literally just came to mind right now. And maybe you guys can relate. All right, so, you know, I'm not broke, but I'm also very far from rich, okay? And certain times, I got a budget, right? And you know what blows my high is when I buy some shit and it doesn't come off my card until days later. And then you got all kind of pending transactions. When you pay a bill, it takes them forever to take the money out your account. I gotta calculate things.
Yo.
You know, I got a plan.
Yo.
You know, I need you guys to take that money out immediately.
Yo, that shit is
Like, I need
worst.
everything to be instant, right? Today.
Right.
Because
Yo.
then all of those charges hit at the same time. You know what I mean?
And it'd be the most inconvenient time.
Yeah, it'd be the most
You check that
inconvenient
account,
time.
You check that account, you'd be like, oh, yo, I just got robbed. I just got robbed. What's going
Like,
on?
what is going on,
Like,
man?
I hate when that shit happens. You literally bought something a week ago and it's just now coming off. And you was counting on that. Whatever, how much it was.
I could only do so many calculations in my head before I just lose track of what the hell's going on. That's why, I mean, I guess cash is always king, you know? But maybe the blockchain will solve this. I don't know. Like, banks are typically the slowest moving institutions. And
Yeah, hella slow. Always been the slowest moving institutions because they want to hold on to your money for as long as possible. They're like, I will get back to you.
yeah, because they be
We'll
making
just
moves.
put-
They be making moves on our dime,
Yes,
and then they want to
making
charge me for a bank account or charge me for whatever. Like,
Right.
how you gonna charge me to hold my money and play with my money
Right.
and give it out as loans? Y'all crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good subject you brought up.
Yeah,
That shit be
I
happening.
mean, it's real.
And that is probably actually one of the coldest high blowers.
Yeah,
of
man.
all time.
Yeah,
You
man.
check that young phone, and you're hurt instantly.
Yeah.
Ouch. Instant ouch.
Yeah, but you know, banking. Anyway, since we're talking about banking, I kind of wanted to touch on this too. So speaking of banks being slow as hell, speaking of banks needing to get with the times, and speaking of cannabis or problems in the cannabis industry, as I was touching on early, another big problem is with banking, right? So due to the illegal nature of cannabis on a federal level, it makes it very hard for banks to service cannabis companies. So pretty much a lot of cannabis owners are forced to carry large, exorbitant amounts of cash to pay their taxes, to pay their employees, to buy products, materials, because they can't get bank accounts. And I can't blame the banks, because the banks want to take this money. Trust me, they want that money, but they also don't want to risk their institution. And the problem arises due to this regulation called Know Your Customer. So the banks can't service a dispensary or a cannabis company unless they know exactly who they're selling to. And I'm sure 420 Blockchain will be able to help alleviate that situation. But another company that's coming heavy, coming major, is a company called Hyper. They're coming with it. So let me see, what does this say? So what Hyper does is they solve a lot of compliancy concerns with banks, making it easier for them to work with cannabis companies. According to their CEO, Christopher Galvin, Hyper, during any given month, they monitor close to $1 billion in transactions. So they're already getting busy. They have 5,500 consumers using their app, 130 to 160 new users a day, and they're growing pretty fast. They're already in New Mexico, Illinois, Arizona, Oregon, Washington State, Puerto Rico. They should be in California soon. Hallelujah. And they're expanding to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida, Maryland, Massachusetts. And they actually, also touching on what he spoke about last week, they recently signed their first financial institution in Texas for CBD.
Amazing.
So
it's cool you brought up those banks, because I remember when marijuana was first legalized in Washington and Oregon, because I was living up there in that area for a little while, and we always talked about it. Of course, banks aren't going to accept funds made off the cannabis industry, but what's going to happen is like I predicted, or read up on and believed in, the blockchain, and then watch those people that make their own banks. I mean, it's not easy to make your own bank, but it's doable. You can do it. The just problem is you just got to get the federal backing. And so
that, and then another thing, because I watched the video on this, so pretty much that's what a lot of people have been saying. But there's this, I watched this panel with cannabis experts, from lawmakers to bankers to lawyers. They all spoke on what's going on. And he was saying that the problem with state banks is that the whole power and strength in the banking industry comes from the network of all the banks. So the problem with the state bank is if it's not connected to anything, it's basically just a sitting goose with a bunch of money in it. So the problem goes back to compliancy. If you're a state bank, the federal banks aren't going to work with you. But you know, they figured it out in Colorado, because there's a few state banks out there, but I don't think they're doing cannabis yet. I think they're doing strictly CBD and ancillary companies. But that's another thing where I feel like the blockchain or a creative implementation will better serve the industry rather than thinking traditionally. You know what I mean? Like, instead of thinking a bank, how can something else service this money? Kind of like what is it? Coinbase? Does Coinbase do transactions? I don't know shit about crypto.
Yeah, so Coinbase it's the standard for cryptocurrency transactions. Normally what it's good for is, this is a site that you can deposit your money into, and then take that money and then you can deposit it into another Binance account. So it's like the lead off. But yeah, you can do transactions off there, deposits, withdrawals, and so forth.
Yeah, I don't know how they would tailor that to the cannabis industry. I don't think anyone would want to like turn their dollars into Canacoin or something that you could only use at dispensaries, because then it would kind of limit you to what you can do and use it. Maybe once the cannabis industry grows more and it's more accessible than having to go to the 12 shops in your city, well, at least in San Diego, that would be a viable option. But for now, I don't think.
If you can only use it for cannabis, then that's like trying to trade someone for something valuable for an Amazon gift card. Like, that's like saying, hey, if you give me $50, I'll give you an Amazon gift card. Like, nigga, I might not want to shop on Amazon. Nigga. I might not want to shop on Amazon.
Well, Amazon, they have everything.
They
but
do, but
for the best prices. But I feel like I'm supporting like an evil world. I don't even know. Like, Jeff Bezos, I don't know about that guy, man. He's on some shit. Like, what is his ultimate goal? Like, what is he trying to do? Like, you got enough money, bro. Like, you're doing fine. Like, what is his net worth? Like 90-something billion, right? He's up there. It's like, come on, bro. What next, man? But Amazon is so epic. I mean, I respect his come up. But I heard a lot of shit too, that he came from an affluent. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating by any means, but I heard he came from an affluent family, and his parents invested money for him to get started and supported him and this and that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on that, because he still did what the fuck he did. A lot of kids come from money and they're not able to accomplish that. So you can't just take it all away from him. I understand certain people don't come from a lot.
Quick fact. This is kind of blowing me away.
Oh, whoa.
Jeff Bezos' net worth is $115
Whoa,
billion.
he's touching paper.
He's touching bees.
At that point, like, he just lives life where money isn't real anymore. Like, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like
you can't say no to Jeff Bezos.
it's like basically everything is free. You know what I mean? Like, whatever he wants, it's basically like everything's free. He has so much money, it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? It's like non-existent. But I just wonder what that guy's ultimate goal is. I know Elon Musk is another evil genius, and he's obviously trying to escape planet Earth. But what the fuck is Jeff Bezos? What's his goal, man?
What's his deal?
What's his deal? Hey, what's Elon, since we're looking up net worths, what's Elon at?
Elon Musk, he's at 20 B's.
20 B's?
20.4 B's. But I'm just so blown away about how Jeff Bezos is richer than Bill Gates. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know this. This has got to be the richest man in the world.
I don't know. Maybe you should look that up. Let's do our Googles. We do actually fact check, so we lied. We fact check, but we lie a lot too. So you gotta watch us. Nah, I'm kidding. But
Yeah, so
who's the richest?
it goes Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Monty Ortega. That's Jeff Mexico.
Oh yeah, the oil magnate.
You got Warren Buffett. You got Mark Zuckerberg. And you got Carlos. Moving super lightly. Just super lightly. Salute. But yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, man, the cannabis industry may spawn the next wave of billionaires, or dare I say it, trillionaires. But we'll see. I mean, solving banking, that's a big thing. If someone comes up with a bank, that's major too. But you know, another thing I wanted to talk about today that's kind of a lot of people, you know, so I have a lot of people that hit me up, whether it's questions about CBD or about different brands or companies or all kind of random shit, you know. But one thing a lot of people ask me is how to get a job or how to work in the cannabis industry. So there's a tremendous opportunity within the cannabis industry right now. And I kind of, like I touched on earlier, I want to maybe discuss with Lavish a few ways that people such as yourself could break into the industry. So let's talk about some facts real quick. Let me spit some numbers at you. The total number of job postings for the cannabis industry increased 445% in 2017, according to a job search website, ZipRecruiter. So start there, ZipRecruiter.com, type in cannabis, see what pops up. There are now more people working in the legal cannabis industry than there are dental hygienists in the U.S. Y'all nasty. Motherfuckers ain't going to the dentist. That's why. I don't think that's really a notch to cannabis as much as it's a knock on motherfuckers going to the dentist. Y'all nasty. The legal cannabis industry could be a $21 billion industry by 2021. That's in 3 years. So major areas for cannabis. If you want to get into the cannabis industry, there's basically 5 ways to do it, right? So you have cultivation, trimming, growing, anything along the process of growing plants, right? You have distribution, which is delivering, processing, getting product tested, taking it to the shops, sales. You have retail, which I think is the easiest probably. Start as a bud tender, or if you have experience or know about cannabis, maybe you could start as a manager, but there's a lot of opportunity in that as well. You got testing, which is a little bit harder. I'm sure you have to have a degree, but it might be worth looking into what kind of degree or what you have to become do testing for cannabis. Nah, it's more along the lines of Nah, botany would be growing. Cultivation would be botany. Testing is more along the lines of, I don't even know. Like it's like people that test blood or brain samples or things like that, where you're testing sensitive material. I'm sure testing food, whatever. So there's that, and then there's ancillary, which is like software companies like Weedmaps or GitNug, or people that make packaging or marketing, and that's another tremendous opportunity. So a wise man, recently I was talking to this dude about all the shit I want to do in the cannabis industry, and he was telling me, he was like, the cannabis industry is a gold rush right now, right? Everyone's flocking to it, trying to get rich. And he said, who made the most money during the gold rush? Was it the people digging for gold or the people selling shovels? You know, and I know that that's not new advice. I'm sure that that's, you know, a lot of people have said that, but that really made me think and look at things from another perspective. And, you know, there's a lot of opportunities outside of making a product or touching the plant itself. Marketing, starting 420 blockchain, starting Hyper, doing packaging, starting a magazine, starting a podcast. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways to monetize off the industry. But what's important is, what do we know about every industry? Two things are important. Two things are the most important. One, who do you know? You don't know anybody. You got to start getting out, getting places.
Right, so networking is,
yeah, rubbing elbows, networking. And you're actually a master networker, might I say.
Man, I dabble.
Yeah, you dabble.
I dabble in a little bit of networking. But just like you said, in any industry, you know, pertaining to what we're talking about, more pertinent to our subject, you know, you got to get out there and network. And it's cool you brought that up. Like, the people during the gold rush that made the most money were the people selling the shovels and the buckets. You know, they weren't out there looking for gold. They're like, all right, well, we're gonna let you idiots go look for the gold, but here, you want to rent some shovels, you want to rent some buckets. If you can figure out a way to be that person, then you'll be fine. So that's a pretty cool subject to bring up. A lot of good news coming at you guys tonight. The heat is being brought.
You know what? Hold on, I didn't finish that thought though. So I think I got high. I'm very high off the Fire OG. Shout out to my plug, by the way. He comes through on time every time and under budget. On time and under budget, right? But there's two things important: networking and skills. So back to what I was saying, I have a few more things. I'm not done. I'm a little passionate about this because my inbox stays blowing up. To enter any industry, just because people are making money right now in the cannabis industry doesn't mean it's money falling from the sky. You still have to bring something to the table. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? What is your skill? How can you be of value? Like, I don't know what, I'm not, like, I can't sign you, you know what I mean? I don't know what people want me to do. When I was making music, a lot of people would hit me up, like, want to send me their music, and I'm like, well, what do you want? What do you want from me? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's kind of the same way now in that regard, to where you just have to bring something to the table. Be valuable, solve a problem. People that are able to solve problems for others will always have a check. You know what I mean? So find what you're strong at, play to your strengths, make sure you network. The cannabis industry is very small. You meet some of the right people, you start meeting them all. You know what I mean? And think outside the box. There's a lot of new areas and mediums spawning from the cannabis industry, such as podcasts, such as YouTube channels, people doing reviews on products. There's a lot of ways to get creative in regards to creating content as well. So, you know, I'm not claiming to know everything, but I am waist deep up in this shit, and I see a lot from the inside. So I figured I would share some things from my perspective as someone that literally lives this shit every single day, to maybe help some people out, because I have at least 5 people hit me up a week asking me, curious. So hopefully that helped, you know. Wasn't too into detail, but you could start there. And just look, man, and apply yourself. Put yourself out there. You'll do great.
You'll be awesome.
You'll be awesome. I believe in you guys. I really do. If you're watching this podcast, you're on the right wavelength. You know what I mean? You're starting. There's a good starting point. You know what I mean? So before we wrap up the night, we want to get to one of my favorite parts of the show where we shine light on people that are just doing shit properly. I love people that do shit appropriately. I love people that pay attention to detail. I love people that master their craft. You know what I mean? That live and breathe whatever they're doing. And this part of the show is homage to the title of the show, The Highest Creation, where we show love to people, company, brands that we are currently enjoying, that are doing shit the way shit needs to be done. And I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so this week, the THC stamp, the Highest Creation stamp that I will be giving out, is actually going to go to a clothing designer from New York, Mr. Johnson. He's created the clothing brand Demode. Yeah, and I forget what the language is, but it basically means not stylish. Huh? Right there. But yeah, his brand is called Demode, and the definition of Demode is unstylish, or whatever the word is, the correct word for it is. So go check out his brand. He's coming with some heat. He's actually one of those people that you don't hit up and they say, oh, I got a clothing brand, and you say, well, where's your clothes? Oh, I'm just selling t-shirts right now. He's really coming with the whole package.
Was that even it, nigga, or did I just do some high shit? Was that it?
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
his page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you can go check out his DemodeClothing.com. If you want to check out new innovative clothing from new designers, I advise you guys to go check him out. He's pretty dope. So.
Yeah, I mean, the clothing industry is saturated, but people are always going to need clothes, and people are always looking for new dope shit. So I always love finding or stumbling across new brands that are true to themselves and not trying to ride any waves. You know what I mean? There's a lot of wave riding in fashion. It's like everyone wants to dress like one another. But I need to check them out. I need you to drop that, airdrop that profile so I can follow them.
Hot.
Coming in piping. But my Highest Creation stamp is going to a LA-based brand called Lord Jones. They're absolutely killing shit. Lord Jones specializes in CBD topical lotions and CBD chocolates, like high-end chocolates. They're everywhere. All the celebrities are using it, love it. Their packaging and branding is A1. I have not yet tried their products, but I'm such a big fan just by their imagery that they're doing a good job, because I haven't even touched their product, but I love their brand, you know. But they're doing some epic shit too and thinking outside the box. And it says in early 2018 they're cutting the ribbon on the country's first ever cannabis dispensary in a hotel. So Lord Jones partnered up with the Standard Hotel in Hollywood, and it will be home to the flagship store where they're gonna have their weed gummies, chocolates, lotions, and products that have the ideal CBD to THC ratio. So they're gonna be, that's truly unique. I mean, damn, you're gonna check into the Standard and be able to stop by the dispensary and get some shit. That's epic.
As you're headed to your room.
As you're headed to your room, you know, check in, man. Instead of leaving a mint on your pillow, they're gonna leave a little edible.
That would be way too lit. Way too lit. That's on the questionnaire. That's on the questionnaire as you're booking a room. Are you a smoker?
Are there going to be any children in the room?
Any
The last
children?
thing you want is your kid to eat some edibles.
Right.
I actually just read an article where some woman got arrested for giving her child a THC gummy. And I don't know why you would give your kid cannabis unless it's for a medical reason. You know, I'm all for helping kids with epilepsy, kids that suffer from other, disorders. I'm all for giving them cannabis to help them out. But if you're just giving your kid cannabis to get them high, that's kind of wild. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that
You know what I mean? Yeah, so here it goes. It says, woman arrested for giving her 13-year-old marijuana edibles. This was earlier this month. Let's see, where was this from? If you had to take a guess, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, so
The meth capital, Albuquerque. Wait, where's Breaking Bad take place?
in New Mexico.
Yeah, but Albuquerque,
I
right?
believe it. Or, it
Or
might
like
be,
right outside. Yeah, so no disrespect to New Mexico. If we got any listeners out there, I doubt it. But man, she's tripping.
Wait, was that the lady that was it the gummy bears?
Nah, it's chocolate.
Because it's crazy. There was just a story out there in New Mexico.
Okay, so actually I spoke too damn soon. So it says this 38-year-old mother from Radium Springs, New Mexico, says she was advised by a homeopathic doctor to give her 13-year-old daughter marijuana-filled gummies to assist with her anxiety. So, I mean, I guess she was trying to help out, but she can't be taking them to school, man.
Yeah.
She was wildin'. And then the chocolates got weed weed imprints all over it too. Like she was really wildin'. But I don't know. I feel like in that case, in that instance, all right, I'm no one to tell any parents how to raise their children. I have no fucking kids. I don't fucking know. But I guess if it's for a medicinal reason, I can't hate. Whatever.
Well, first of all, don't get your kid high and then let it go to school.
No, she had the edibles at school. The principal found them in her bag. That's what happened. So keep that shit at home, folks.
I remember there was another funny story. I think it was in New Mexico as well. And I think I sent you the story because it had me dying. But this little girl, she took her parents' candy and it was gummy worms or gummy bears. And she took them to school thinking that it was regular candy, and she just started passing them out. And next thing you know, everyone was just lit in class.
I remember you sent me that. That's crazy. That's probably happened a few times though, man. Like, that's nuts though.
Mexico, you guys got to get together. We need listeners out there, but come on.
But yeah, guys, I mean, shit, I'm high as hell right now. I came in piping hot today, steaming. Steaming hot. But it's been a good night, good day. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you're staying high and out of trouble. I hope you're getting to the bag. I hope you're not sitting online just talking shit. There's too many people that just sit online not doing shit, man.
I have too much time.
You got too much time, man. Get a hobby or two. Live your life. Enjoy. It's been real. You got any final words?
Stop blowing each other's high.
Stop what? What was that?
Stop blowing each other's high.
Stop blowing each other's high, man. Just be cool, man. Be kosher.
Spread
Be
the
copacetic.
Spread the love.
We here. It's been good. It's been real. You guys have a good night. Peace.
Peace.